On February 17, 2017, a 26-year-old man named Zhu Xiaodong walked into a local Shanghai police precinct, looked an officer directly in the eye, and confessed that he had killed his wife. When tactical teams breached the couple's apartment, they had no idea what kind of chaotic nightmare to expect. Instead, they found a meticulously clean, perfectly ordinary home that smelled faintly of household cleaner. But sitting right in the middle of the living room was an unusual piece of furniture, a large commercial-grade deep freezer. When officers lifted the heavy lid, they found the frozen body of Zhu's wife, Yang Liping, hidden beneath thick layers of frost. Right above that freezer, carefully mounted to the wall, was a home security camera. Its lens was pointed directly down, monitoring the freezer door 24 hours a day. In the interrogation room, Zhu spun a classic story of a domestic dispute gone horribly wrong. He claimed his wife had discovered he was having an affair and started screaming hysterically. To keep the neighbors from hearing the fight, he said he put his hands over her mouth and throat just to quiet her down, only to realize he had accidentally choked her to death. Zhu told detectives that in a state of absolute terror, he bought the freezer that same afternoon to hide her body. He claimed he installed the camera to ensure the power didn't cut out and cause an odor, living in agony for months before the guilt finally forced him to surrender. On the surface, the confession sounded like a tragic, impulsive mistake, followed by a panicked cover-up. But as forensic investigators and cyber units began pulling data from the apartment, they were about to completely dismantle his story. The medical examiner placed Yang's death in October 2016, 4 full months before Zhu walked into the police station. For over 100 days, he had continued his daily life in the apartment with his wife's body hidden just feet away. To keep Yang alive in the eyes of the world, Zhu hijacked her phone. He logged into her accounts daily. Whenever her mother called, he let it ring out, replying with texts claiming she was busy, and uploading old photos so nobody panicked. The moment Yang died, Zhu transferred all the money out of her bank accounts and maxed out her credit cards. While his wife lay frozen, Zhu funded luxury vacations across China and South Korea. He paid for expensive dinners and hotel rooms for 2 other women he was actively dating, living on his dead wife's savings. Modern digital communication makes it incredibly easy to fabricate a digital ghost. By simply replying to text messages and updating a social feed, an abuser can completely mask the physical isolation of their victim. Cyber forensics proved the cover-up, but investigators needed to test his claim that the murder itself was an impulsive accident. To do that, they pulled his complete physical and online purchase history. The receipts showed that this massive commercial deep freezer wasn't bought in a blind panic after an accident. Zhu purchased it weeks before the murder, while Yang was perfectly healthy and still working her job. Digging further back, police found that months before the couple even got married, Zhu had ordered banned true crime books from overseas and the dark web. These manuals contained step-by-step guides on how to efficiently strangle a human being and how to preserve flesh to prevent decomposition. Faced with this evidence, Zhu eventually admitted to a deep-seated obsession with the act of killing. He confessed that he wanted to experience the power of taking a life, a motive perfectly aligned with the instructional manuals he studied. This malice was evident long before she died. Zhu deliberately rushed their marriage and emotionally manipulated Yang into quitting her stable job, intentionally cutting her professional and daily social ties so she would be entirely reliant on him. Zhu followed a systematic playbook designed from their very first date to strip away her defenses and secure an isolated victim. During the trial, defense attorneys tried to present Zhu as mentally unstable and incapable of fully understanding his actions. However, the sheer volume of preparation, from ordering murder manuals to systematically hijacking her social media, demonstrated clear sanity and calculation. On December 13, 2018, the court handed down its final verdict. Zhu Xiaodong was found guilty of intentional, premeditated murder, and in 2020, he was officially executed. Yang Liping was a brilliant, highly educated, and kind-hearted woman. She made a single, fatal mistake. She trusted a man who used her capacity for love as a weapon against her. Psychopathic malice rarely shows up looking frightening. It often disguises itself as a charming, attractive partner who deliberately pushes your boundaries and rushes commitments under the guise of romance. Never ignore those early red flags. If a partner attempts to isolate you from your friends, your career, or your family, Listen to the instincts of the people who truly care about you and protect your personal support networks.